Alright, cool. No hostilities. Alright, Letho, let's see what you got to tell me. Oh, he's just chilling. Take a look for some kind of treachery. I don't see any indication of an ambush. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. He's a tricky fellow. What do you got there? Oh, that's Sheila's diamond.
Took you a while? Is that bauble from Sheila's megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
I let her escape.
You're heartless. You've no idea what the royal witch hunters have in store for her. A lot of pain for a long time.
I don't doubt it. So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
No matter the game, there comes a point when all the players need to show their cards. I love that moment. But first... vodka?
Sure.
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
Now I'm concerned he poisoned it.
Let's drink to old friendships.
That's a hell of a swig there, gal. I remember in the first game, there was actually an ability where it made you tougher if you were drunk. But fighting was a lot harder.
Recovered your memory yet?
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah, I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her, but I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
So he had
The
Yennefer.
winter solstice 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying. The hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
I apologize for the glitchiness there. I'm not sure why that was.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the Hanged Man's tree and the wild hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days. Delirious. In agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums, trying to seduce orcs, trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Sarret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful, no violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau, and a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the Northern Kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the North. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire?
She was when I left.
How did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Every witcher who wears the viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the spectral riders.
Know who they are? You know the true identities of the riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary omen of war proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's Tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea, but that's not your concern.
That is very interesting. I'm not sure how he found that out. It wasn't any time when I was paying attention, apparently, but I know all this mystery will be wrapped up in the third game.
How did a witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper, the Witcher's order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago, and Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Sarret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me. Well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way. But if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
I don't really want to fight him. I don't feel like he is my true enemy anymore. And it was never like his intentions were completely foul. But I don't know what he still has in mind, if his plans are entirely fulfilled. And if he's just gonna keep going on murdering people.
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the North. Soft net before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The North resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
Ah. Oh my goodness, there's so much to talk about.
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the Lodge's existence. Initially, she watched my every move. But sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila, killed a few beasts for her, and whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together, could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demavend. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I've been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila, and now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
You lucky bastard.
Where'd you get your information about the Lodge?
From the Emperor and Vatir Durido, the Emperor's chief spy. And I believe they got it out of Yennefer.
She recovered her memory?
Nah. I'd never claimed she informed on her friends consciously. I expect they found a way to tap into her memory in spite of her amnesia, and without her knowing it. There was a sorcerer present when I was questioned. A young, proud intelligence officer. Whatever the case, they gave me a list of the sorceresses in the Lodge. Only Emir, Vatir, and I were present. Only we knew of the mission.
How do you manage to slay Demavend?
Sheila's magic. I mean, she could give us the king's every move. His habits, the positions of the palace guards, anything. All we had to do was navigate the labyrinth and land the final blow. Besides, she had plenty of gold for the preparations. Greased palms abundantly. It had all the makings of a cakewalk. But it's never that easy. We barely avoided our pursuers. And we wouldn't have if not for Yorveth Scoia'tael, another of Sheila's ideas. With Yorveth's elves, not only did we cut down Demavend, But traveling with them put us out of the Lodge's reach. We could calmly plan Foltest's and Henselt's assassinations.
How did you know Foltest would come to the monastery's solo?
Because his kids were there.
Yorveth and I planned Foltest's murder. The King of Temeria would have to deal with the Lavalette sooner or later, and he made no secret of it. I was sure he'd want to recover his bastard children in the process. And where do they take the children when a castle's under siege? I had to become a monk, but I couldn't just arrive at the monastery and claim I'd see the light. Not very believable. So one of Arian's patrols out in the forests happened on a Scoia'tael unit torturing a helpless monk. Arian's brave.
That's when the Cringefoot Reavers found him.
Found shelter in the monastery.
No one noticed you had no wounds?
I paid the monk who treated me a lot of orange to stay silent. Actually, it was only a loan, because I couldn't wait. Only the dead can keep a secret.
It's a very Nilfgaardian way of thinking.
For the situation to develop. When I saw you enter the chamber with Foltest, I thought I might fail. Luckily, you failed. To recognize an old friend.
When did you decide to get rid of Yorveth?
As soon as I realized I couldn't manipulate him. A true fox, that one. He was so observant, so dangerous. I got the sense he might see through me at any moment.
You made a mistake. You were untouchable as long as the Scoia'tael were protecting you.
Maybe, but with Yorveth, my hands were tied. If I'd finished off Kieran...
But you didn't. And that allowed me to drive a wedge between you and Yorveth. I forced you to flee.
And I let you live. You know I could have killed you. You're forgetting.
No, I remember. So Sheila was looking for you when she came to Flotsam.
Mm-hmm. She thought she was still in control and wanted to get rid of me. I'd bet my eyes that she thought I'd lost my mind, or that Yorveth was manipulating me.
And the North descended deeper into chaos.
Exactly. There was just one problem. You. I could have killed you in the Elven ruins. Thing is, you weren't really my enemy.
You screwed up with Henselt.
Sabrina's curse tore that down. First off, we got holed up in that hideout in the ravines. Then Sheila showed up and started watching Henselt like he was her own ass. By that time, his death was no longer necessary. Fate had smiled upon us again. I learned of the summit and the efforts to reconstitute the council and conclave. The ideal setting for the mission's grand finale.
Well, I guess that's it. That's a lot of chat. A lot of things to learn. But I guess this is the end of it.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Wanna fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here. The Imperial army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
What do I do? I don't hate the guy. I just hate the fact that he killed so many people that were important to me. Oh. This is a crisis. I gotta do it.
Time to fight. Ready?
As I'll ever be. You fear death.
Stop.
What does it feel like to be almost dead?
Oh, I rolled into that.
Time to fight.
I gotta wait for his Quen to wear off. So my potions all wore off, that's a problem, but seemed like it was inevitable. What would be wise? 15%. 25%. Let's do that. I don't know if they stack. So I can do more than one though. Do that. Alright guys, we are we're still in the battle. I just had to cut for a second because my roommate walked in, so I didn't want to do any of the fighting without you guys there to see it. But I did do a few more things, drank some more, or used some more oils, added something to my armor, equipped some BAMs. We're gonna see how this goes. Let's just get that ready. Oh, nice one. I commend your cleverness. Oh, bugger. Well, I can't burn him now. Right, I think his Quen works differently than mine, but I'm not sure. Oh! Man, he is making a lot of use. Oh, flippin' hell, he's smart. Can I cancel this? Oh well. When I go to use the bombs, he seems... I don't know if his AI is actually scripting him to use the Quen, or if he's just using it because I'm far away. What? You little twat. I can't even really target him, that's the biggest problem. Yeah, go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna hit you with some of this. Burn, you fool. Alright, well, he just walked through that. Ah, he keeps doing that. This is ridiculous. I can't actually target him, so parrying is out of the question. Uh-oh. Oh, he got me. I got him too, but it's not much help. Right. I think Quen will be wise for me too. Ah, except if he keeps doing that. Like a biggity bitch. Get out of here with your acid bombs. Yeah, you know what sucks though? My Quen lasts longer than yours. Except when you do that, why do you keep doing that? You're a pain in the butt. Oh my god, that fucking Ard is out of this world. I gotta use mine before he uses his. This guy's just getting ridiculous. Except I'm probably gonna have difficulty hitting him since I can't actually target him. Yeah, come at me. Boom. We're basically gonna have to do hit and runs. Because he's gonna hit me with the Ard once he blocks. So I kinda gotta stay away from that. Go on, throw your bomb. I bet you're going to. Nope. He's gonna rush. It's very slow for a Witcher. It's amazing that he even had the agility to pull off such assassinations. Woo! It's expecting the Ard. But he was not quite so predictable. Have another, you fiend. Ah, oh, see, Geralt did it again. Why do you do that? Oh, ain't gonna get me with that. Alright, so this is not a difficult fight. I would have liked to know what do they do as a boss battle if you choose not to fight Letho. Maybe he's not even the final boss, I don't know.
The wolf has teeth, and
Yeah.
Better. I can tell already.
They haven't shown it yet.
You tire quickly.
I'm fine. I don't know about you. I mean, maybe you might... Ooh! Ah, counter guard. Ah, you flippin' asshole. Whoa! Got some of that igni going on now. Alright. Come at me, you devil. This is very good cover for his spells. Once he comes around the corner, I just blast him.
I don't want to.
Ooh, that was close. Actually, he did get me.
You're nowhere near my level. Of course not. I'm no Kingslayer.
I don't know. Like, I would just like it if the Witchers were united again. Which it seems like he really wants. Or at least his order specifically. Fuckers. I'm out of here. Without the swallow, this is difficult. But, I don't know. The whole dialogue just went on too long, so it wore off. Kablooey! Ah, I got you first. Nice try, though. I knew it. Come on. What do you got? You got nothing. You're garbage. Kablooey! He's really not so tough. I mean, he's got more health than I, but... vitality, I should say. Boom. But he's very easy to just...
I've had enough of this.
Arden run.
Goodbye, Geralt.
You know, for all his trash talking, he hasn't really tried anything new. He acts like he's got something else up his... not sleeves. Oh! Oh! Damn. That was unfortunate. Have that, sir. Kind of sad. I was hoping with the whole Flaming Rose thing I would be able to meet the dude from the last game. He was cool. Albeit ignorant and naive. But he was cool. He's a good ally. On many an occasion. Seems like his art actually might be able to reach over this. Or at least his igni. But mine can't, so I doubt his can either. Alright, well this is very close, so... one more hit should do it. Sad as it is. Let's see if we can end it with this. On your face! He doesn't seem to ignite. Ooh. Counter bomb. I wonder what his bombs are. Doesn't seem like one I've ever actually used before. Kablooey and Kaslicey. Woo! Ow! I can't lose now. I kicked his ass.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. Along the way, he had met both the righteous and scoundrels, Bernard Laredo amongst the latter. Laredo sold flotsam to Kedwin and scattered the local non-humans to the four winds.
I wish I had killed that bastard. But I had to save the elves
Flotsam
instead.
became a military base. Its civilian population was resettled. In Edirn, the Witcher witnessed Saskia the Dragonslayer achieve a great victory. The Pontar Valley, previously Upper Edirn, became a promised land for outcasts who dared dream of freedom. Even sly old Zoltan Chive came to believe in this land of bliss. Yet dark times approached for the architects of the New Order. Dark clouds had been gathering over Temeria since Foltest's death. Stripped of its king, the land was like a rich cloth which nobles began to shred. These minor scavengers, however, scurried off in fear when true predators reached out for their prize. The summit at Loch Muin sealed the fate of Foltest's realm, when Radovid of Redania and Henselt of Kedwin divided it between them. Years before, Geralt of Rivia had witnessed the fall of the Council and Conclave of Mages. The summit in Loch Muin re-established both bodies, their founders sacrificing Sheila de Tanzerville and her accomplices. Yet Radovid also required humility and loyalty from the proud mages, but this did not sit well with all of them. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in the laps of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
View the credits to see the game ending. Alright. Guess we'll watch then. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was The Witcher 2. And it has thankfully not shaped up to be the longest series I've done, which I had a fear that it would be. Not the longest in terms of total length, but I sort of feared that it might exceed even Gothic 2 and how long it took me to complete. Gothic 2 was almost a year. But it came together much quicker after the second chapter was over. The third chapter took me less than 2 hours, I think. But, it's a good game, a slightly flawed game, but really any game has its flaws. And in all honesty, I feel like the combat rebalance mod that I installed just broke it far worse. I can see why people might enjoy it, but for me, maybe it was just broken because I did not start a new game with it, so I will try it again on my own time. So I'm not going to write it off completely, but it was just a little... just didn't seem right how significantly it reduced damage of my weapons and the protection of my armor so that I could die in 3 hits from the most basic enemies. So I was just not a fan of that. Uninstalling that just made it a lot smoother. Not necessarily easier, but just... I mean, it was easier, but I felt like it was fair. Because I just don't see how a Witcher like Geralt, with all his training and the power of his mutations and his alchemy and everything, would have so much difficulty just fighting a common soldier. So, without the fix, the difficulty just makes more sense to me. It's not like bosses were terribly easy, although Letho, he was a bit of a letdown. I was expecting a lot more out of him. It was just easy to just Ard, hit a few times, run away. Rinse and repeat. What? Oh well. It seems quite common to me in games that final bosses are a letdown compared to the build-up. And I can imagine it's very difficult to pull off. Dark Souls was much the same. I wouldn't say Witcher was the same, because the first Witcher was a very it just felt very even throughout. So the final boss was not necessarily a different. Whoa, that was strange. Final boss was not really a different fight than the rest of it was. Did I just turn off the music or something? No. Okay. It just turned. The song just ended abruptly. Anyway, what I loved most about it was definitely the story, and there's so much to it that I will not really gather everything until I do repeat playthroughs. And I'm very curious to see how different choices throughout the game will turn out. I know it actually surprised me how choosing between Yorveth and Roach at the end of Chapter 1 would change the course of events in Chapter 2 so significantly. I get the feeling Chapter 3 would not have been as different, but it probably would be. There would probably be more to do with Sheila and less to do with Philippa. Chapter 2 would obviously be us taking Vergen instead of defending it. Lifting the curse would be probably a similar process, but I don't know. There's just a lot that can change in this game, and I really like that. And what I might do, just to see how the ending would turn out, without killing Letho, I'll probably reload after the credits and the end scene are done. And if the exchange is significantly different, I will add that to the end of this video. And if the what would you call it? The slideshow in the end, if that changes at all, I'll show that too. And yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been an awesome journey. And I am very excited for Witcher 3. But hopefully I will have a more capable PC by the time that comes out. Otherwise, I'm going to have to wait on that for a long time. I actually don't even know if it has a due date yet. A release date. But it's going to be a while, so I shouldn't get too thrilled just yet. I just know it's going to be an awesome game. This game is awesome in its own right. I do enjoy it more than the first Witcher. The combat system, it's flawed, but it's just more intuitive and entertaining than the previous one was, so it is a step up. And I hope The Witcher 3 gets it closer to perfect. I can never expect anything to be perfect, but this game, in my opinion, it had everything that made the first game great. It might have been a tad easier because it didn't have like things like toxicity, where the more potions you drink has different effects on your character and health. In this game, they said for time constraints, all they could do with toxicity was use it as what would you say? Just an upper limit on how many potions you could drink. But otherwise, they did a very good job with this game, and it definitely deserves the praise that it gets for the story. The graphics are amazing. I've had it on medium settings this whole time, and I cannot imagine how good it looks completely maxed out. But unfortunately, my computer is not quite that strong. So with this ending so much sooner than I expected, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do to follow it up. So normally I want to keep 3 series, there's 3 games going on at the same time. Right now I only had 2, which was Witcher 2 and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Bloodlines might not end by the end of the month, which I intended it to, but even then, this is going to be... It's the 22nd of October today, so whenever this gets uploaded, it'll probably be in the next 2 weeks. That's when I'm going to have to decide what comes next, and I do have an idea of what I really wanted to follow Bloodlines. But I'm going to have to start doing that early just for the sake of this. Or actually, I don't even know if Bloodlines will be done before then. Either way, I don't have much more to talk about, and I expect these credits to take a long time, but it is my policy with Let's Plays to show all the credits, because these guys worked hard and they deserve their names to be seen, even though you guys are surely going to skip them. Or maybe not skip them, but probably not going to read every single name. I'm not going to skip the credits just because I want to see what comes after. And it sounded like skipping the credits would skip the end game scene, so I need to see that, and I want to show it to you guys. Anyway, I'm talking out of my ass here. I've got nothing more to say, so just stay tuned. I'm sure something's going to happen after the credits. Skip ahead if you need to. But I love this part of the soundtrack. Just listen. You know what that reminds me of? Reminds me of Gothic 3, Geldern at Night. Geldern was one of my favorite cities to spend time in Gothic 3 just because the music there was so awesome. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. There's going to be more to watch after this, I'm sure. If not, then whatever. Thank you guys for watching. And I hope you stick around and see whatever comes next. I'll probably put a little I don't know what you would call it, kind of like a trailer, or just an announcement of what's gonna happen next, because I don't know, I find that surprising you guys with stuff does not seem to go as well as I thought. You guys don't seem that thrilled by my choices, and at some point I think I will kind of post a few ideas for a follow-up. Like, just post some ideas, let you guys pick one of the games that you want me to do. But I've already decided what I'm going to do next. And obviously I have my Fallout for Gothic 2 still planned. That I'm going to use to surprise you guys, because I feel like that's a much more interesting surprise. But for now, what's going to follow Witcher/Bloodlines, that's going to wait. But I will let you know before it finally gets posted. Anyway, I have nothing more to say. Thank you guys for watching. Stick around, stay tuned, and I will see you all later.